Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Janae. Today's video is going to be a DIY video. As you can tell from the title, it is going to be a fully dedicated Halloween DIY, and this is my first DIY video on my channel, so I'm so excited to share them all with you. I love how they all came out. We are going to be in October in a couple days, and Halloween is one of my absolute favorite holidays. I love it so much. I love the whole vibe of it. I love scary movies. I have my Halloween nails on that I love so much. I get them from Etsy. I will have the Etsy shop listed down below along with some of my other favorites. We have just started decorating for Halloween in my house. I know some of you are already jumping into Christmas, which that's totally fine, but you will not see me decorating for Christmas in September and October. I feel like time already goes by so fast as it is. I do not want to rush it and make it go by even faster by rushing the seasons. So I am decorating for them as they are here and living in the moment and decorating it with you guys as it's happening. So I hope that you enjoy that. And if you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. I will also be sharing some videos over on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me there, I will also have that listed down below. And yeah, let's just jump into today's video. For our first DIY, I was over at Michael's and I saw this cauldron. It was $14.99 at 30% off. And I immediately thought this would be the perfect thing to use as a dupe for the cauldron candles at Anthropologie. Those are super cool and unique, but they are priced at $138 for the large and $48 for the small, so very pricey for candles. I found a similar version of that cauldron candle at the dollar store, so I thought it'd be really cool to dupe them both and just pair them next to each other, similar to how Anthropologie had them paired on their website. So for the paint, I am using two colors that I picked up from Walmart. They are in a chalk paint. One is in black and the other is in satinate, which is like a gray color. And I really want to get that thick consistency in my paint, so I went in with some baking soda. I did this in small amounts just because you can always add more, but you can't take any out. So you want to just slowly add as you go until you get the consistency that you like. So I started off with a little spoonful and I kept adding until I got it to where the thickness that I liked. And I kept adding a little more paint until I got it to the color that I liked as well. And once I achieved the look that I wanted, I went in with my paintbrush and I dabbed it onto my cauldron. So it's important, you don't want to paint this on, you want to dab it, and that's really what's going to give you that thick consistency that you're looking for, that's going to make it look more like stone. I just went around the entire thing and made sure that I covered up all of that shiny black, and I really laid it on thick on the trim and on the handles because I felt like in the picture from Anthropologie, that's where you can really see those marks and those big thick chunks that make it look very old and weathered and like that stone. So I made sure to go in very heavy on the handles and on the lid. For the large one, I just repeated the same process. I went in with my chalk paint and I just dabbed this on to the large cauldron and I just covered the entire thing. And again, I went in very thick on the handles and around the neck just to give it that real stone-like look. Once they were both completely dry, I went in with that same gray color and I took some water with a paper towel and I would dab my paper towel in my water and mix it in with my paint, and this helps to thin out your paint. I learned this method from Evelyn, who is like the queen of DIYs, and let me tell you, it really does work. So I took my paper towel and I just very gently dabbed that onto my cauldron, and this added just another layer. It added some depth and some contrast to this. And if you look at the one from Anthropologie, it has these weathered gray marks all over it. So that's the look that I was trying to achieve. And what's great about this method is it has a lot of room for error. So if you get too much paint in one spot, you can just take your paper towel and add a little bit of water, and it really helps to just kind of smooth it out, and you can just go back over it until you get it to the look that you like. And I again just repeated that same method on the large one. Okay, so this is my first time ever making a candle, and let me tell you, it was actually very easy and very satisfying to do. So I found this large measuring cup at Target. You want to use the largest measuring cup that you can find when you're melting wax, just because that's going to prevent you from having to do so many batches. So the wax that I'm using are these little cubes. I had these on hand from last Christmas. I get them from the dollar store. What's great about these is obviously they are only $1 for a pack of 6 cubes, but they are also scented, so you don't have to worry about adding any scents to this. And they come in a lot of neutrals. I know my dollar store is always fully stocked with these. So I am going in with like an ivory color and mixing it with a camel color, because again, these are just what I had on hand. So for the larger candle, I used 5 cups of these cubes, and for the smaller candle, I used 2 cups. So I added my measuring cup to a pot with some boiling water, and I turned the temperature on low, and you just want to be very patient and just keep stirring it until it's fully melted. The whole process took about 20 minutes. I then went in and I glued my wick to my cauldron, and I just took my hot glue gun and did a circular motion and just held it down for about 10 seconds. I found these wick sticks over at Joann's. I think I got a pack of 12 for like $6, so very affordable. You want to be very careful when you're pouring your wax. I put mine in a Tupperware just to prevent it from spilling onto my countertops. You want to just make sure you do not burn yourself or any of your furniture, so just pour slowly. And then once I had my wax completely poured, I took a popsicle stick and just poked a little hole, and I pulled my wick through that, and that actually worked really great. For the larger cauldron, I did use 2 wicks, so I also used 2 popsicle sticks to lay across, and that way those also just dried nice and straight. I let those dry for 24 hours before I went in and trimmed the wicks, and I loved the way that these came out. For the next DIY, we're going to be making some spooky taper candles, and I've seen this trend all over. I've seen it at Pottery Barn, Anthropologie, and I think it's so cute. But again, I felt like this is something that you can easily DIY at home. So I picked up these taper candles from Hobby Lobby for $1.99. I grabbed 2 of them in the color white. And then I ordered these bat tattoos off of Amazon. I got this for a pack of 60. It was $8.99. And I went in and I cut out the smallest bats just because I wanted them to be very tiny on my taper candles. So I went in and just cut out as many as I felt like I needed to surround the entire candle. And since these are tattoos, you're going to apply them the same way that you would on your skin. You're just going to take the plastic part off first and go in with a paper towel, dab it in some water. You're just going to dab it on to your candle and make sure that you fully soak the tattoo, and then you just peel it off, and it is literally that simple. So I just went in and I did this all over the entire candle. I did add some smaller and some big because I liked the dimension of those, but this was the easiest DIY. I felt like this was so simple and just such a cool little trick, and I love the way that they turned out. For our next DIY, we are going to be doing some pumpkins, and they are just such a staple when it comes to fall and Halloween. Like, you just can't not have a ton of pumpkins in your house. I absolutely love them, but I wanted something just different and unique, and I saw these ones on Etsy and they immediately caught my eye. I thought they were so cool. They are definitely like a Halloween themed pumpkin, but they look very old and weathered, and I just love them so much. But they are $20 a pumpkin. One of them, the larger, is actually $28. So again, just really pricey, and I felt like this is something that we can totally just DIY ourselves. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I found a couple pumpkins that I really liked the shape. Everything there at the time was 50% off, so these were super affordable. To start off, I am going in and painting both of my pumpkins, covering the entire thing in an orange color. If you look at the pumpkins on Etsy, although they are dark and very washed out and aged looking, they do have a little bit of orange that pokes through. So I wanted this to be my first layer, and the color that I'm using is called Terracotta. It is from a brand of paint that I've actually never heard of before, but I really enjoyed it, and it comes in a variety of really cool colors, so I will have them listed down below. I let both of those dry for about 2 hours, and once they were completely dry, I then went in with that same black color that I used earlier, and again I mixed it with a little bit of baking soda, and I used that same method that I did earlier, so dabbing it on. And I really wanted to go in thick because I knew that I was going to add a couple more layers to this to lighten it up a little bit, but you want to make sure that you're not covering your entire pumpkin in this black. You want some of that terracotta base color to poke through. Once that black was completely dry, for another layer of color, I went in with this one, and this one is called Dusty Trail, and it's in like a beautiful tan color. And to thin that out a little bit, I'm using that same method as earlier, and I'm just adding a little bit of water because I don't want this to cover up my layers. I just want it to lightly add some texture and some depth to this. So I did that same method that I showed you guys earlier. I took a paper towel and just lightly dabbed this all over, and as you can see, this is starting to lighten up that black color, and it's really starting to give it that old weathered look that we want. And I wanted my pumpkins to have that very dramatic look to them, so I really wanted to emphasize the grooves. So I went in with my paintbrush and added some black. I did thin this out because I didn't want it to look like stripes. I wanted it to look very natural. So I mixed my black with some water, and I just very gently went in and added some black to the grooves of my pumpkin. And I felt like this just really completed the look and made it just look so cool. And these are so awesome, you guys. I love them so much. For the final DIY, I found these little skull heads at HomeGoods, and for a box of 4, it was $9.99. And while they are super cool, I wanted to do something unique with these. So obviously I needed to change the color, but first we are going to be drilling a hole in the top of his head because we are going to be making this into a matchstick holder. So I took my drill, and my husband has this little tip to it that allows for a larger hole, and I will have everything linked down below as far as what we used. But I did this completely on my own, so do not be scared. It was very simple. I just had to grip my skull very tightly and just be patient and go in slowly with it, and it created this perfect hole, and I removed that, and then I went in and just painted my skull. I wanted it to look a little more high-end, and like this is something that you would see at maybe McGee & Co. or Anthropologie or maybe CB2. I feel like CB2 is known for stuff like this. So I wanted to keep it very chic looking, so I went in just with some black paint and I layered that all over my entire skull until I covered up all of that pink. To make this a functioning matchstick holder, I bought these match striker strips from Amazon, and I'm just placing one of those strips at the very bottom of my little skull. And then again, I wanted this to look very high-end, so I felt like to achieve that, it would look really cool if I went in with a high gloss glaze color. So I just went in with this clear high gloss spray paint that I picked up from Home Depot, and I did 3 layers of this. My first layer, I let it dry for an hour, and it was not glossy enough for me, so I went in with 2 more, and 3 was the perfect amount. I did make all 4 of them because I'm going to be giving these as gifts. I just love the way that they came out. I think they're very cool and unique. Okay, so that is a wrap on today's video. I hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much. I had so much fun making this video for you guys. And if you guys did enjoy it, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. I always appreciate any support you can send my way, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.